What's up, YouTube? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka we'll call it Snatch One because I got plenty going around. As you can tell by the title of my thumbnail in the video, this is my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more rest content that I do on the channel. Follow my social media down below in the description. And go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights I posted on the channel yesterday. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show for what it was. AEW Dynamite was live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Peterson Event Center. Alright, it says right here, commentary kicks off the show by running down what is going down tonight. With that, we cut backstage where the Hangman talks about Kyle Fletcher taking him to his limit at AEW All Out, but he is still the champion. Coming out of it, he hopes Kyle Fletcher is watching tonight as Page defends his title against Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Martelli, telling Lee Martelli he better be on his A game tonight. With that, we head to ringside for our opening contest. Out first are GOA making their way down the ramp as an insert promo gives us words from Ricochet about taking out the Hurt Syndicate and how GOA look to take the tag titles tonight. The champ makes their entrance. Next we get a look at highlights from the ladder match at AEW All Out with the champs in the ring. We get this match on the way. So we get the AEW World Tag Team Champions Bandito defense against GOA. And this tag team match right here, I ain't gonna lie, this was a good tag team match. We look to start off with Leona and Brody King, but Bandito insists on going up against Toa. Bandito lands a shot that barely phased Leona. But the Ring of Honor World Champion used his quickness to stay on top of things. He hits a couple drop kicks before Toa swats him away. And a tag is made to Khan to continue the damage. Some chops from Bandito ends with Bishop taking him to the mat. But Bandito comes back strong, lifting Khan up. Bishop breaks free to send the champ to the corner with the hammer throw. The impact forcing Bandito to the mat as Khan gets his boot on him for a near fall. Tag made to Leona, who continues inflicting pain on the champ before landing a scoop slam. Khan tags back in for a few shots of his own before tagging Leona. Toa keeps up the work on Bandito before the latter managed to make a tag to Brody King. Brody King goes to work. Taking Leona out of the equation before hitting a lariat on Khan, making a cover for a 2 count. Sends Bishop to the corner for a superplex, but gets knocked off by Khan before Leona charged in to level the playing field. This gives Khan an opening for a near fall of his own before we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, GOA have Brody King down for a near fall by Khan, but Brody King managed to battle back to get the tag to Bandito, who goes off like a rocket against the gates, sending Kong away before dodging a charge from Leona. He goes for a cannonball Brody King style, but gets cut off by Bishop, who he sends into Leona in the corner. He brings Toa to the middle of the ring for the cover, but Leona kicks out with the authority. He looks for a 21 plex on Toa. But this gets cut off by Khan, who makes a blind tag to stay on top of things as GOA double team the champ. They prop him up on the turnbuckle, but Bandito fights back as Brody King gets involved to bring Leona out of the ring. The big men go at it as Khan counters the offense from Bandito. Leona sends Brody King into the timekeeper's area, drawing the attention of the ref and allowing Ricochet to run into the ring with a chair before he can take a swing at Bandito. However, the ref catches him and ejects him from ringside. The crowd cheered as Bandito rose of Bishop for a near fall. Before Toa comes back into the ring to attack the champ, Khan makes a cover, and it looks like we may have new champions. Before Brody King breaks the pin at the last second, Brody King sends Leona out of the ring as Bandito hits a tournament flash with a bridge on Khan for the win to retain the titles. The winners by pinfall is still your AEW World Tag Team Champions, Bandito. And this was a good tag team match. We cut backstage to hear from the conglomeration with some very heavy hints about who the mystery partner is for the trios match tonight. It's obviously Orange Cassidy, which we saw tonight. So it's Orange Cassidy. Very heavy hitting, so heavy in fact that I personally give this whole segment a weak well thumbs up. The group levels the backstage area with a curious warning from whoever hologram new rival is to close the segment before we go to commercial. Alright. It says we're going door to door and house to house asking who will be the commemoration partner tonight on hashtag AEW Dynamite, which is Orange Cassidy. But we're left with our feet in the air and our head on the ground. Where is our mind? Hashtag AEW. Alright, commercial break. We head backstage to hear from Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron as Chris Statlander addresses her title match tonight in the ongoing situations with the Death Riders before taking her leave. Back at ringside, the AEW World Champion comes out first, presumably to let his challenger join the pop from the hometown crowd. Adam Page enters the ring as we get a video package showcasing Lee Martinelli, who does in fact get a great hometown pop as he heads to the ring to get this match on the way. So we get AEW World Champion Open Challenge. Hangman Adam Page defends against Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Martinelli. And this match right here, I ain't gonna lie, this match was okay for what it was. The two men circled the mat before locking up, with Lee Martinelli using his technique to escape a wristlock by the world champion. Lee Martinelli takes the Hangman to the mat before locking in the head scissors to keep the pressure on Page, who bridges out before escaping the hole. Hangman Page back on his feet as Lee Martinelli stands up as well, looking for a test of strength. Hangman Page obliged, and we get the Greco-Roman grip in place, which each man looking for the upper hand until Page takes the Ring of Honor Pure Champion to the mat. Lee Martinelli able to bridge up to stop a count before getting back to his feet, turning things around on the AEW World Champion with a few well-timed holds before sending Page to the corner. He backs away as Page looks to get back into it, and both men hit the ropes before Page takes control with the shoulder tackle, leading Martinelli to the mat. Both men are back up as Page evades a kick before taking Lee Martinelli to the mat with a body slam, only for Lee Martinelli to land a kick to keep the Hangman away as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Lee Martinelli has Hangman Page on the ropes, but is sent over the apron by the world champion, only for his challenger to catch him on the top rope. On the way down to the floor, Lee Martinelli comes back in with a springboard forearm and the cover getting the close near fall before Page kicks out. With both men back up, they trade strikes before Lee Martinelli hits the ropes, only to be sent flying with a back body drop. Page stays in control with a fallaway slam before he kicks up, catching the challenger with the Death Valley driver for a 2 count. Lee Martinelli is able to get back into it. Lee Martinelli is able to get back into with as he sends the world champion to the corner before countering a dead-eye attempt into an octopus hole. He transitions into a cradle for a 2 count before moving into a Motor City stretch to get the Hangman in a world of trouble. Hangman Page managed to power up to his feet, landing a short arm lariat and a dead eye for the win. the winner by pinfall, and still your AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. This match was okay for what it was. We cut to footage from after All Out as Adam Cole and Christian Cage addressed what FTR did with Cole, saying he has to go and he doesn't know if he's coming back. Cage says he doesn't have a family anymore. So go take of yours. Cole reminds his old friend that he does have family, and they shake hands before Cole runs off. We remind that FTR will speak tonight up next. In fact, as we head to commercial break. So back from commercial break, we head back to ringside as Tony Schiavone introduced FTR and Big Stoke to come to the ring. Dax has some choice words with a fan on the way to the ring before FTR and their man Stokely get into more boos from the crowd. Cash Wheeler takes the microphone saying he's like to do this himself. He says they deserve the reaction they are getting, claiming that the action did on Saturday. We not meant to go that way. They call Colt for having his so-called childhood best friends and wife out before Stoke takes the mic to forgive Beth for what she did to him at AEW All Out. He says he was running up the ramp not to run away, but Beth Phoenix, but to introduce herself, even suggesting he allowed Beth Phoenix to spear him and carry him to the back. He then says Cope and Cage needed Beth to win, and that's the worst part is Beth doesn't even work here. Dax Harwood says he was advised to come out here on the live television and apologize. He will not apologize for dropping Cope and Christian Cage on their heads and necks, but says he would never immediately try to hurt Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix punched him in the nose and watered his eyes in his confusion. He thought Beth Phoenix was Cope and drops her on her head. By accident, he learned a lesson that night. He hoped Beth Phoenix did too, as he would never lay his hand on a woman. Do with Beth Phoenix. He used the word loosely. Dax is cut off by Will Nightingale. Curiously, Will Nightingale comes to the ring first to address the fake apology from FTR before turning her attention to Beth Copeland. She talks about how much of an inspiration Beth is to her, saying women like Beth are the reason Will Nightingale came back from a broken freaking neck, referencing a Pittsburgh legend in the process. But most of all, women like Beth are the reason a woman like Willow doesn't take from guys like FTR. She implores them to give their apology another go before Stoke interrupts to say it must be past Will's bedtime. This gets a shot to the head by Will Nightingale, but before FTR can retaliate, Speedball comes down to even things up. FTR recurrently leaves the ring with Big Stoke regrouping on the ramp. This was a good segment, but my favorite part doing that segment that Will Nightingale slapped the taste out of Big Stoke. That part was funny. She got his Big Stokely good. Alright. It says right here. We cut to MJF after his match at AEW All Out where he talks about everything he done for AEW over the past few years and all the doubts that have come from it. He says something is missing, that he is not MJF but a curry catcher. He calls the attacks his doubts, saying he can't come back until he is himself again. But more importantly, he will come back only when he is the most dangerous self. He takes a tack off himself, talking about eating his doubts up and spitting them out as he does with so the he says he will be back to do things the only way he knows how, whether they like it or not, his way. Back at ringside, the Don Callis family make their way out for this next trios match. Don Callis gets a microphone to talk about his skills as an artist, showing off painting on the screens before saying he's been working on his masterpiece the past 6 days and 6 nights. Tonight he reveals that masterpiece is so big that they had to roll it out. A couple stageheads bring out a curious looking chart with a painting as Don hypes it up. He tells the crew to unveil the painting, and Orange Cassidy's music hits as he pops out of the painting instead. The rest of the congregation comes out to get things going, a brawl that finally gets the match on the ring. So we get the commemoration: Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and Orange Cassidy versus Don Callis family, Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hexino, and Hexu Zero. This 6-man tag team match, I ain't even gonna lie. This was a fun 6-man tag team match for what it was, and that's all I have to say. The chaos stays largely on the outside as Briscoe hits a big dive to the outside, followed by a relaxed drop by Freshly Squeezed. Oh, in the midst of all things, the bell actually rings. We start officially with Orange Cassidy and Hex and Zero before Briscoe and the Hologram get tagged in to hit a few shots of their own. Tag made to bring Orange Cassidy back in, who is Priestley one punch to a big pop from the crowd. Hologram tags back in for a fury of offense on Hex and Zero, but this gets turned around as Hologram is dropped to the mat hard with a color before we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Hologram is taken down once again by Hex and Zero, who makes his way back in the ring with a springboard splash. Hex and Zero takes his head scissors by Hologram for his troubles before Takeshita runs in to get involved. He gets taken out as Okada runs in with a tag to knock the conglomeration off the apron, who only gets caught by a fury of offense by Briscoe, which culminates in a fisherman buster for a 2 count. Okada starts to gets his shot back on Briscoe, who gets a tag to Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy gives a hug to his former Chaos teammate, who just looks at him confused before working with Takeshita to take the former international champion down to the mat. Hogan tries to help out, but takes some damage from the Rainmaker. Okada and Takeshita stare each other down for a moment before Cassidy gets involved with his dangerous kicks. He sends Okada to the outside, but Hex and Sarah has made the tag, taking Orange Cassidy for a ride before sending him to the mat. Hogan gets the drop on him before chaos ensues, leading to Takeshita dropping Hologram with a driver, only for Hologram to respond by dropping Takeshita down to send him out of the ring. Hex and Zero grab Hologram, but is taken off his game but by an orange punch, allowing Hologram to hit a portal bomb for the win. The winner of the match, the congregation, Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and Orange Cassidy. This was a fun 6-man tag match. I ain't gonna lie, this was. Alright. There is no time for celebration as Kyle Fletcher comes out to welcome Orange Cassidy back, but also for something that is of importance to the conglomeration. He proved on Saturday that he belongs in the main event, saying he knows he'll be world champion someday. He then looks what was I saying? I'm sorry. He said he then, what was I at? He said there is no time for collaboration as Kyle Fletcher comes out to welcome Orange Cassidy back, but also for something that is of importance to the collaboration. He proves on Saturday he belongs in the main event, even saying he knows he'll be world champion someday. He then looks in the ring and sees a bunch of doors before acknowledging Hologram's long-running winning streak. He knows that Hologram is 34-0, or should he say 34. He's scared of Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher wants to be the one who gives Hologram his first loss in an AEW ring, so he issues a challenge to Hologram, title versus streak, for the TNT Championship next week at the 6th anniversary of AEW Dynamite. When he beats Hologram, he will have to say Kyle Fletcher's full name. Kyle Fletcher music hits as we go to confirmation for next week. We head backstage to hear Amina Sharaka, who talks about her reign as in turn Women's World TV Champion before saying she fights for Tony and for herself when she faces Chris Allen for the Women's World Champion. Commercial break. A video package look at a Jack Perry bring back his old friend Luchasaurus, resurrecting a partnership that saw highs and lows of all kinds to lash out against the Young Bucks at AEW All Out. Before we get confirmation that Jurassic Express returns next week on Dynamite. All the joy of playing Tarzan Boy gets stuck out of the ringside arena as Claudio Castagnoli makes his way out for our next match, walking through the crowd to get to the ring. Powerhouse Hobbs makes his entrance next, making a beeline for Claudio Castagnoli as we get this match underway. Alright, so we get Powerhouse Hobbs versus Claudio Castagnoli. And this match right here, this was a decent match for what it was. The two entered the ring with a back and forth of strikes before Claudio starts to take control. He sends Hobbs to the mat with a back suplex, but the Powerhouse is back on his feet with some body slams on Castagnoli. He shows relative ease in throwing Claudio around before the former Ring of Honor World Champion clinches a hold on Powerhouse Hobbs to force both men to the outside. They go back and forth until Powerhouse Hobbs hits a set of headbutts, sending Claudio Castagnoli to the ring steps, only for Claudio Castagnoli to evade Powerhouse Hobbs charging at him. Powerhouse Hobbs crashes into the steps, and Claudio picks him up for a back suplex of his own, sending Powerhouse Hobbs over the barricade into the crowd. He steps over the host Hobbs up and drops him onto the barricade, this time causing some big damage on the Powerhouse as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Claudio brings Powerhouse Hobbs to the ring to garner a near fall. Both men fight to their feet. Back and forth they go before Powerhouse lands some hard shots on Claudio Castagnoli and sends him to the corner. Claudio Castagnoli escapes the corner, now setting the Powerhouse up on the turnbuckles for a superplex to send Powerhouse Hobbs crashing. Covered by Claudio Castagnoli, but Powerhouse Hobbs kicks out at 2. Claudio Castagnoli brings him back up for a series of uppercuts, looking for a neutralizer before Powerhouse Hobbs counters for a power slam, which is Powerhouse Hobbs botches that power slam. Powerhouse Hobbs gets a near fall, but follows up with a few more body slams for good measure until Claudio blocks one last slam attempt for an uppercut. He lays in some elbow shots before the ropes, but Powerhouse Hobbs is barely phased by the lariats before hitting the ropes for a clothesline. Another body slam by Powerhouse, but Pac comes rushing to the ring for a distraction, allowing Claudio to land a running uppercut and a cradle for the win. The winner of the match, Claudio Castagnoli. This was a decent match for what it was. Samoa Joe comes running out to scare off Pac as Powerhouse Hobbs sends Claudio Castagnoli out of the ring. The rest of the Death Riders come out for a sneak attack on Powerhouse Hobbs before Hangman comes out to even things up. After a short scuffle, the Death Riders escapes through the crowd. Do not before Claudio demands the referee raise his hand once more to remind everyone he won the match as we get the word that Tony Khan Tony Khan's important announcement is up next. So we go to commercial break. We head backstage for the big announcement from Tony Khan. He talks about all the great wrestlers and how strong the women's division has been in particular, announcing that we are introducing the new champions with the women's AEW Women's Tag Team Championships. Our first champion will be crowned very soon, say the AEW president. We head to ringside where Renee Paquette unveils the new titles. With the big news cut off the way, we get ready for our main event as Mina Mina Shirakawa heads to the ring first. Out next is the champ as we look back at the manner in which Chris Statlander won the title at All Out with both women in the ring. It's time for our main event. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get the AEW Women's World Championship match. Chris Statlander defense against the interim Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion Mina Sharakawa. Mina Sharakawa. Okay. And this main event match right here, it wasn't bad, but I might as well say this main event was a good match for what it was. The two go at it before Chris Statlander takes the challenger to the mat, but Mina is able to fight back before celebrating. This leads to Chris Statlander picking her up, dropping Mina to the mat once more before posing. Mina Sharaka takes the fight back to Chris Statlander, sending her to the corner for some punches before Chris Statlander fights back for a drop kick. Hammer throw sends Mina to the corner hard, but she dodges a boot to hit a drop kick on the knee of the Women's World Champion before bringing her down hard to the floor through the ropes. She follows up by sending Chris Statlander into the ring steps for added damage, continuing to attack the leg before bringing Chris Statlander back in the ring to break the ref's count. Chris Statlander managed to fight back, dropping Mina to the apron before coming back into the ring as we go to the final commercial break. We're back from the final commercial break. Mina regains control with a sling blade, sending Chris Statlander to the mat. She continues the fury of offense for a swinging DDT off the ropes. She sets up for a surfboard stretch with a twist, but Chris Statlander breaks free to send her challenger to the corner. She also counters a glamour driver to go for a Saturday Night Fever, but Mina counters for a 2 count. Chris Statlander responds by taking Mina down for a near fall of her own. Dragon screw by Mina twice over to keep Chris Statlander's leg in pain. She climbs up the top for a sling blade to keep Chris Statlander on the mat, covering to get a close 2 count. Rolling strike in the roundhouse by Mina, but Chris Statlander holds her up on her shoulders, only for Mina to counter out, setting in a figure 4 leg lock on the champion. Chris Statlander is in trouble until she gets the ropes for a break. Mina catches Chris Statlander with some more strikes to keep her down, but the champ breaks away for another figure 4 attempt before clinching in the seat belt to keep Mina down for the 3 count. The winner and still your AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander. This was a good main event match for what it was. Wheeler Yuta enters the ring to congratulate the champ on retaining as the rest of the Death Riders comes to ringside as well. John Moxley music hits as he comes out alongside Maria Shafir. The pair head to the ring as John Moxley enters facing off with the Women's World Champion with a look of approval before Yuta gives her a hug. Chris Statlander reciprocates with a hug of her own as Harley Cameron looks on, shocked, realizing her friend has possibly just abandoned her. Before Chris Statlander lays out Wheeler Yuta with a lyric, she stands up to John Moxley with a double bird salute before she and Cameron hightail it out of the ring and through the crowd. And out comes Darby Allin with a flamethrower. The Death Rider starts to confront Darby Allin, but he shows that he knows how to use that weapon, scaring the group off enough to pose with the flamethrower on the ring. As the ring steps as the Death Ross escapes through the crowd. They stare down Darby Allin, who has a microphone to let Jon Moxley know, he's never going to quit before challenging Jon Moxley to a not quit match at Wrestle Dream. Commentary talks about that and hypes up next week's lineup for the anniversary Dynamite. Darby Allin continues to show off his flamethrowing pro-wise as AEW Dynamite comes to a close. Alright, but let me read this quick results. AEW World Tag Team Champion Brodito defeated GOA. AEW World Champion Open Challenge Hangman defeated Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Monteri. The Combination Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and Orange Cassidy defeated Don Callis family, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita and Hex and Zero. Claudio Castagnoli defeated Powerhouse Hobbs. And AEW Women's World Champion Chris Statlander defeated the interim Ring of Honor Women's World TV Champion Mina Shawaka. Alright. And AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Alright, let me say something about AEW Dynamite, and then let me get my spin what I think about AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show for what it was. So if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel. Follow my social media down below in the description, and go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights. And I will be going live on Twitch for some Fortnite tomorrow. So make sure you guys, I'm only 5 away from reaching 10 subscribers over there on Twitch. So make sure you guys sub to me on Twitch so I can get that new emote unlocked. So I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will see you guys at 5 o'clock a.m. for my upcoming world premiere for my AEW Dynamite review on House at 5 o'clock a.m. on YouTube. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.